So hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video. We are here outside City Gym on Sexton Street. We're going to be running through a pull workout today based off of the workouts programmed on my app. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Right, so the first exercise of the session is going to be a bent over barbell row for about 8 to 10 reps. Now I forgot to bring my straps with me. For any exercise where grip is going to be a limiting factor, you should be getting your hands on some lifting straps. So if you haven't done so already, head to fucking My Protein, go into Elvery's, they have them there as well. You'll be able to get a little bit more out of exercises like this. So, exercises like the barbell row, since the dawn of time, have been used by plenty of people to build a big, massive set of traps. But recently, it's been getting a bad rap from the optimal crew because they suggest that because there's muscles used in the lower back to hold yourself into that position, that makes it somehow less optimal for growing a lot of muscle in the back. My advice is do whatever exercises that you prefer to do that give you a good stimulus, that feel good, that you can overload and get stronger with over time. But if you are to do an exercise like a barbell row, undeniably it will build up a level of fatigue in muscles like the lower back. So my suggestion is to do it earlier on in your session as opposed to later on in your session. Let's go. Alright, so a bit more momentum using that one. A good solid 8 reps out of it. Again, had I not done that a bit fresher, had I not done that towards the start of the session, probably would have had a fat fucking chance of being able to get that many reps out of it. But that's probably the most that I've ever handled. Right, so seated cable row, we're going to roll with 8 to 10 reps again. Now, truth be told, rep range, I've said this before, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're truly pushing balls to the wall as far as muscle growth goes, you're going to get a pretty good stimulus. You're going to do enough to build muscle if you're really pushing to failure kind of by the end of the set. It doesn't necessarily have to be failure, but if you're 1 or 2 reps shy, you're going to be generally in a good spot. So long story short, if you want to do 8 to 10 reps in this, 10 to 12, 12 to fucking 14, be my guest. Just make sure that the last repetition is one of the very, very last that you can do. Right, so with a cable row, what we did on the barbell row there, your elbow is going to be slightly further and flared away from the body, so it's going to result in a little bit more trap involvement. This with the neutral grip is going to result in your elbow coming a little bit closer to your sides. So yeah, it's still predominantly sort of a trap exercise, but there's going to be a degree of lat involvement there as well. So the way I like to think about it is a middle ground between a trap exercise and a lat exercise. So one of the most common complaints about using straps is that it's going to somehow negatively affect your grip strength. And not only is that not true, but you're not training a back exercise, you're not doing a barbell row, a cable row to train your grip strength. If you really want to train your grip strength, hang from a pull-up bar for as long as possible. Do some heavy farmer's walks. What straps are going to allow you to do is do more weight than you might typically be able to do for your back, for your lats, whatever muscle that you're training, which is going to lead to more growth over time. I'm not sure what the reason is, but nearly every single person that I work with, they take a while to kick the fact that the rep range is not a hard and fast measure by which you end the set. It's simply a guide as to what weight that you will select for that given set. I think there's been a total of 2 sets that I've done here today that I actually failed within the rep range that I'd set out in my head to do. So if you do a set and you under-select the weight that you're using, you end up, instead of doing 8 to 10 reps, end up doing 18 to fucking 20. That's fine. Go to 18 to 20, push to 18 to 20, fail at that rep range, but then you know that you can adjust the weight up for the next set, so that each set you're getting a little bit closer to failing within the original rep range that you set out. But rep range is not as important as many people make it out to be. Again, just a general guide as to what weight you should look to select for a given exercise. It used to be a good idea to run through some very, very common mistakes when it comes to a lat pull down. So the main one that I see people using is the fact that they make it more of a tricep exercise than a lat exercise. So what they'll do is that they're just thinking about pulling the bar down in front of their body, but they're going beyond where they typically probably should be with a typical lat pull down. So it looks something like this, but then rather than stopping somewhere around here, they bring it down towards their lap. You're not looking to bring a lat pull down all the way down to your legs or all the way down to your lap, because if you get to this point, to bring it further, it's just going to be your triceps bringing it down. So what you want to do is think about bringing it to the midline of your chest. So I think a good cue for most people to get used to this idea is to just pop their chest up a little bit, and you're just looking to drag the bar to the top of your chest here. Full extension on the way up. And again, a slight rock back. You're not fucking tearing the shit out of it like that, but you are just cocking back a little bit, pulling the bar to the top of your chest, and then releasing it. All of that, so that's 3 handy exercises. Incorporate those, that'll be more than enough to toast off your traps, toast off your lats. We're going to move on to rear delts now. So we're going to use a cable reverse fly. If you don't have a setup like this, or you're in a busy gym, just do some bent over dumbbell reverse flies, or if your machine, or if your gym has a chest fly machine or a pec deck, you can just do vice versa, a reverse fly on that. So for this, you don't actually need a handle. If your cable machine has one of these ballpoint things, literally just grab it like that. It's going to probably be the most ideal grip. You could also do it with a D handle like that. For me, I just find it a little bit more awkward, but do whatever works for you. Hooray! Just 2 reps of 305 kilos. So what I was trying to say on this, cable reverse fly, the key is the word fly. It's not a cable reverse row. So you shouldn't be bending your elbows excessively. You should be looking to have a decent distance, a minimum amount of elbow flexion, so that your hand is as far away from your shoulder as possible. So it's not quite lockout, but it's just short of lockout on your elbow. So it's a fly, not a row. First bicep exercise, second last exercise for the entire workout is going to be a standing dumbbell bicep curl. Truth be told, biceps are a very, very easy muscle group to train. It's not really going to matter a whole pile whether you do like a dumbbell curl, a barbell curl, a rope hammer curl, a cable curl in general. Whatever ones that you prefer, again, that are most comfortable for your wrists. That once again, the most important variable is how you overload these exercises over time. Can you perform them competently? Are you stable performing them? And hence, are you best placed to add weight or to add reps to them over time? Because at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. The only shitty thing about training in a cold gym is the pumps are so much worse. So normally I'd have veins popping out of here, veins popping out the side of my neck. But unfortunately, such is the case. It's not happening today. Common problem that comes up with some people is that there'll be a strength discrepancy between their right arm and their left arm. What I would do in that situation is on the stronger arm, just simply match the volume that you're able to do on your weaker arm, but maybe even with the assistance of the stronger arm, on something like a dumbbell curl, when you reach failure with the weaker arm, you might do some assisted repetitions, really focusing on that negative portion, so forced negative repetitions, whatever you want to call it, just so you're attributing a little bit less or a little bit more volume to the weaker arm, and hopefully we'll bring it up to strength with the stronger arm. So the final exercise of today's workout, of this pull session, is going to be an overhand easy bar curl. So it's actually been an exercise that I've been doing for most of the 10 years that I've been in the gym. It's just a little bit of a variation from the standard regular easy bar curl or preacher curl. It's personally an exercise that I particularly like, but again, if you don't particularly like it, if it's uncomfortable on your wrists, you can just do an underhand curl. Trivial differences like this between what sort of grip you use, whether it's underhand, overhand, whether it's a narrow grip, a wider grip, it's largely down to personal preference, similar to the cable row, so don't sweat about what one that you're fucking using. So with this exercise, common thing that people will do wrong is that they allow their elbows to flare quite a bit, and they're not getting as much or as good a stimulus on their biceps as it potentially could be. So you really want to keep those elbows screwed in against your side throughout the curl. I'm just going to superset that, so overhand with an underhand, because I do feel with the nature of the grip of an overhand curl, your thumbs and your grip could potentially be an influencing factor. So just to ensure that, again, I'm completely frying out the biceps, finish it off with a couple of reps of underhand. Yeah, so it actually didn't need much from the underhand grip to reach that pivotal point of failure. So that would indicate to me that the overhand grip, despite the potential for the thumbs and the fingers to be limiting factors, was a pretty decent stimulus. So any plan that you follow, especially when it comes to like biceps, you can have free rein as to what way you want to manipulate that. If you want to throw in an extra set, you want to throw in an extra exercise, you want to switch up the grip a little bit with it, or you want to do similar to me, a drop set, absolutely fine. There's no like right or wrong way to exactly perform curls and things like that. So ultimately, with exercises like bicep curls, a lot of the training that you can do for it is personal preference within reason. So use whatever plan you're following. So hopefully it's one on my app. Use that as a baseline, as a general guide as to how 80 to 90% of your session is going to look, or you can just manipulate certain things here and there to suit your preferences. Right, so that is the end of today's pull workout. You can find that workout amongst many others on my app, which will be available down in the description. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and make sure that you tune in to the next one.